Thanks so much for joining us once again for your New Hope update with the mayor, Kathi Hemken. Welcome, Mayor. How are you doing on this fine day?
Hi, Dave. Just fine. Summer's still here. Thank
It
goodness.
is. Yes, we're liking the temperatures. Looks like it'll be a nice week and a lot going on in the city of New Hope. So let's bring you up to date. The first is New Hope Job Fairs, discussion going about jobs in the city of New Hope, and you've got some information to pass along. Tell us more about that.
Well, the community development staff had this idea of having a job fair at City Hall. So they talked to the business networking group, and pretty much they were in favor of that. So then they went door to door to the businesses in New Hope, asking them whether they would be interested in being part of this job fair. So we still haven't made a decision on whether to do this or not, and we don't have a date. But if you happen to know a small business or you go into a small business and they're looking, tell them to contact City Hall, the community development, and they'll talk about this job fair and whether or not they'll be able to get that off the ground.
Very good. More to come. We'll keep you up to date on that. Let's talk about these smiling faces right here. These people recently at a council meeting receiving an award. Tell us why they were there and what great work they have been awarded for.
Well, we have this program called Rave, and Rave doesn't stand for anything other than raving about the property. So it's indoor and outdoor renovations and gardens, inside remodeling. So there were 5 winners this year. And we gave each of these winners a engraved rock. Now, they don't do it for the rock. They do it just for the pride of the neighborhood.
Sure.
So all of the winners were there to receive their rocks, and they get a picture taken. And there's some pictures of the renovations that have gone on. So thanks to all of the people who did some work on their yards and inside.
Yeah, and here's another way residents in the city of New Hope are keeping their homes up through the Curbside Appeal program. We've got another person that has applied. Tell us about that program and again, how others might get involved.
So this is a program where the city will reimburse you 25% of the cost of the project, up to, I think it has to be at least $1,000 and no more than $5,000 that they will reimburse you the 25% for. So we've just approved our fifth applicant. He's going to put in a new garage door with windows in it. So it seems to be a very successful program. It's kind of slow getting started. And we just have enough money to, when that money is run out, then we'll just wait till next year and start again. So if you've got a project that you're thinking of doing, now's a good time to apply for that.
All right, the city's website, the place to do that, and much, much more, newhopemn.gov. Let's talk golf. Here's the date for people to remember who's golfing at that fine course behind you.
Well, September 23rd, it's with the Twin West Chamber of Commerce and the cities of Crystal and New Hope. And so they're having this tournament, starts at 12:30 on the 23rd. If you want to register, there's a big, long website, but it's really easier if you just call Jeff Elger at the city, and he'll help you get registered for that. I understand that we've got 50 people registered already, and they're looking for, maybe 15 or 20 more. So there's still time to get yourself registered. And don't wait till the end because it pretty much fills up.
Yeah, fun event at that beautiful course. And call Jeff at 763-531-5119. We've been talking about some businesses in the city that have been working with the city on a few noise issues. One is Pioneer Metal. Bring us up to date if you would.
Well, Pioneer Metal is on Louisiana, about 49th. And of course, anytime you've got a manufacturing place, it's noisy. Well, the noise was really bothersome to the neighbors. So we worked with Pioneer Metal, and what they've done is they got some acoustic panels that they're putting around the fence to help keep that noise abated into the area itself. So the neighbors are pretty happy with that. It's really reduced the noise quite a bit in the neighborhood. So we're really pleased with the response we got from Pioneer Metal on that one.
Another update on some business news, large building up on Bass Lake Road that has lots of different uses inside. You have an update on one of the uses that was going to be in that building. Tell us more.
Well, a church had come to us and wanted a conditional use permit to have a church service. Well, we went in and we found that they had to do some pretty major renovations to the space that they wanted to fit in with our building code and our fire code. Well, the part of the conditional use permit was they could not have the church service there till that work was done. Well, it turns out they continue to have this church service there. And the owner of the building wasn't willing to put in those very drastic measures to come up to code on that. for what they wanted to do with it. So we had to pull the conditional use permit, and we'll probably do that the next week or two once the staff gets that ready for us.
Let's move ahead to scattered site housing. Keep residents up to date on a few properties around the city. The first is 42nd and Boone, 4201 to be exact. That is the old Treehouse Site. How are things moving ahead there? What are we waiting for now at this point?
Yeah. You know, it's always, the city government does not move quick.
Right.
So we went out to companies for doing demolition, and they'll get those bids back the 1st of September. And then staff will look at them and they'll present the bids to us. And then the city council will vote on a demolition company. Once that happens on the 12th of September, then that company will start immediately to demo the building that's there. So you'll start seeing some noise there pretty soon.
Okay. One other property to update residents on is 52nd in Pennsylvania. And you have some great news here about what has happened to that house as far as the value. Just amazing.
Well, last year in 2021, that parcel was valued at $189,000. We, the city, bought the house, tore it down, and cleaned up the property a little bit, sold it to Don A. Homes. They put a 5-bedroom home there, and it just closed last week for $575,000. The house is just beautiful. I do want to tell people we don't have eminent domain, so we're not taking these houses. These are houses where the people have come to us and have sold the house to the city. If it's worth saving, it's got good bones, we'll do a renovation on the house. But if it isn't, it doesn't make any sense to put a patch on an old dilapidated house. So we'll tear it down and then we sell the lot to a developer. And we actually pick the developer that's going to build it there. This one, they didn't think it was going to be that big of a house. It started out to just be 3 bedrooms and a couple extra got added. It's just a beautiful, beautiful home. We got to tour it. So that's about that is our most expensive scattered site house we've done so far.
Amazing how they are moving up. Let's talk about the business networking group. We've got some dates for you to put on your calendar. What is coming up with this fine group?
Well, the 7th of September is the next one, and it's at 2:00, and it's going to be at 9220 Bass Lake Road. That's the building that we just talked about pulling the conditional use permit from. So it's got a new owner, and she's going to be showing us around the building. They've got a potential dentist office that's going in there. So it'll just be fun to see the building and have the meeting there. And the next meeting after that will be at City Hall on October 4th, I believe.
I believe the 5th at 8:30 in the morning.
8:30. And that will be with Tony Salinger from the town planner. That's the calendar that comes out that he puts out. And he'll give us some information on how you can advertise and what he goes through to get that calendar put together for the city.
Very nice. All right. Go to the city's website, newhopemn.gov, to find out more about those events coming up. Here's some great numbers coming back from a recent event that happened with one of the businesses and somebody up on the roof. What's the good news, Mayor?
Well, Dunkin' Donuts, and there's a few of the communities around that have Dunkin' Donuts, and a lot of them did this where they put a cop on the roof. And basically the cop, it rained that day. So they do it all the same day. The police officer on the roof lowers a bucket. You put your money in the bucket, he pulls the bucket back up, and you get a coupon for a free donut. Well, the communities around here, our community raised about $7,000, and the total for the Minnesota Special Olympics came to $31,000 just from local communities. So
fantastic. Thanks
to everybody who showed up and had a donut at Dunkin' and also gave some money to the event.
Let's move ahead now to Public Works. A few updates to pass along here to residents of New Hope. The first is the utility bill certification process. We continue to watch this number. What is the latest information?
Well, it started at $315. It's now down to $265. That's $265,000. So it's a lot of money. This is money that the city has paid out for the water, because we get our water from Minneapolis and then we send it out to the residents and they pay their bill. Well, some people don't. So there are people out there that owe the city $265,000. So we'll keep working on this, trying to get that number down. Come the 1st of November, if that number isn't paid, we then assess their taxes. And then they get to pay not only a fine, but they get to pay 7%. once it goes out of their taxes. So it really is important that people try to get that paid before. And it's just like it's the city's money, and they really need to get that back to the city.
One other item under Public Works, the infrastructure improvement program over on Independence. Here we see some pictures, and Mayor, it looks like work is wrapping up.
What is, they've got the restoration done on they graded the soil and they put in this mulch, or this spray mulch they put in. Well, it's germinated. So that means now that the people that live in that area have to be watering that new grass. Even though we've got these deluge of water coming down, that doesn't stay in the soil very long. So they need to be watering it pretty regularly. They have given the people there some information on how they should be watering and how often. But if you want that to germinate and not be just a bed of weeds, you've got to be watering that now.
Let's move ahead to Park and Rec, and a sad sign that summer might be winding down because we have the last concert in the park date, but it's a fun one. So we're recording this on Monday, the 29th, and coming up this Wednesday, who's at the park?
Well, there's two. The Teddy Bear Band got rained out earlier in the summer. And then Rich and the Resistors is another band that's going to be playing there. And both of those were sponsored by the New Hope Women of Today.
Nice.
So it starts at 7 o'clock. It'll probably last till 9:30 with the two bands playing, but it's a free event. So bring your blanket, bring your chair, bring your bag of popcorn, and come watch a free movie or a free concert in the park.
Yeah, especially great for the kids. They do a great job at that concert. Let's go to the golf course. And one of the neat things I see on a regular basis as we do these updates is a lot of golf events have been at New Hope for many, many years. And there was another one just recently, it sounds like, who had another annual event there.
They did. It was the 38th annual. And this group has been doing a tournament there for 38 years. And I believe the name was Simo, SIMO, long-standing tournament place. And then on Sunday, the boys hockey team from Cooper and Armstrong had a picnic there.
Nice.
So we use that back patio a lot. It gets rented out. This is the last week now that the summer leagues will be playing golf, and the fall leagues are just getting started. So it's time to sign up for that. They'll start right after Labor Day, and there'll be a lot more open golf than there has been because the leagues aren't as many in the fall. So if you do want to play, though, don't just show up, call and make a tee time. It's just a lot easier.
Speaking of those hockey players, let's talk about their home, the New Hope Ice Arena. Still lots of activity going on, even though we're a ways away from their season. What's the latest at the Ice Arena?
Well, they finished up with the summer not professionals, the all-stars, basically. So they have this summer tournament that goes on, and they finally finished up with that. We rented out to about 9 adult teams that play there, and some of them are the Minnesota hockey players. Some of them are professionals. Some of them are just adult guys that are playing there. And of course, there's always open skating on Saturdays and Sundays. So we're getting ready for the winter season, but this is they call it the shoulder season. Mm-hmm. So they're getting ready, and they have all kinds of other events that are going on there. So get over to the ice arena and see it before we start the new season.
Yep, busy place there. And on the opposite end, we have the Aquatic Park just finishing their season, and they're doing some cleanup work now. What can you tell us about the pool and how that process goes here at the end of the year?
Well, if you drive by, you'll notice the water is still in the pool. That doesn't mean it's open. That doesn't mean you get to climb the fence and go in the pool. Don't do that, because the police will get you if you do. So what they're doing is cleaning the filters now and cleaning all the other stuff. And the last thing they do is they start to drain the pool. So even though it looks like it should be open, we don't have lifeguards, so it can't be. So, but don't be tempted to want to use it.
Good advice. Good advice. A couple final notes to pass along here. The photo contest is right around the corner. Get us ready for this, Mayor. What do we need to know, and what are some of the opportunities for residents to take a few snapshots?
So this is called In Focus. We've had it for many years. It actually gets officially kicked off September 1st. That does not mean you couldn't have taken some pictures in the summer. It just means that's when you get to start submitting the pictures. If you go onto the website, In Focus is the name of the photo contest. It'll give you the entry fee. It'll show entry form. There is no fee. Okay. It'll just show you all the rules that apply and when you have to have those pictures entered in. It's always fun to see those pictures start coming in. The pictures have to be taken in New Hope. So it's got to be something that happens in New Hope. It can be a resident or it can be a business that's taking them. It can be a family that's taking them. And of course, they're going to limit how many pictures per entry you can have. But
Okay.
that'll all be on the rules when you go onto the website to see that.
All right, there you see the website on the bottom of the screen, newhopemn.gov. You can find out more. And let's give you one more website here of this final topic to touch on. Website is candocanines.org. Tell us a little bit about this great organization in the city of New Hope, and they have a need right now.
They do. I just got a press release come across, and that's why it's kind of at the end that we're talking about that. So Can Do Canines is a group in New Hope that has donated over 800 dogs since 1989. And they give these dogs free to people that are in need. They're not seeing eye dogs, they're assistance dogs. So kids with autism, people with hearing disabilities, maybe mobile disabilities. So these dogs are given to the people that need them. But what they need now is volunteers to work with the dogs. They have a very well-trained staff, and that staff will train a volunteer on what to do with the dog. So they have the puppy trainers. So it's a 10-week, or 2 to 3 month class, and you're using 10-week-old dogs. So they are puppies. And after that puppy training, then they get the next little group that comes in, and that's an 18 to 24 a month commitment. That's where they're actually training the dogs to do some of the other things that they need to do. Now, if you don't have that kind of time or don't want to make that kind of commitment, or you've never had a dog before, you could be a puppy sitter. So a lot of these dogs are with all of these dogs are with families getting trained, but sometimes the families need someone to take the dog for a day or two. And you get trained, so you don't have to be a dog handler, because you'll be trained on how to handle these dogs. They also need people coming to Can Do Canines to walk the dogs or just to play with the dogs. They want to humanize, get them around people as much as they can. So you can go to the website that's being shown, or you can just call Can Do Canines and they'll tell you what they need. Tell them you want to be a volunteer. They would love to hear from you.
CanDoCanines.org. Again, go there and find out how you might be able to help people out and help those dogs out. And again, the website to the city, newhopemn.gov. Any questions or thoughts about this program and things that might be going on in the city, certainly check out there. Mayor, thanks once again for your time. And as we leave, folks, let's take you to a calendar of events of some things coming up right here in the community. Thanks, Mayor. Have a great week. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Dave. You too. Bye-bye.
Learn more about The Connection at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.